Hello, everybody. This is Living with the Darkness, the Rage Across New York. Today we have a in the werewolf venue where the Cammy goes to Northern Forest. It is outside of New York, a couple hours outside. She rides her car that she borrows from Sept or that she has for like 1 hour, which she parks and she goes into this area, the black, the area known as the Northern Forest of New York. She enters. She sees there is a paramilitary. There's a military organization here that does not belong to the government, which they rent this place without hurting the trees, as you heard, or any other bullshit. Um, she will be received by this couple kinfolk who are carrying guns. Like when I say guns, these are like M60s, M16, I think that's, or M4A1s, or like the better ones that has been deployed to many soldier types. She will continue walking in the forest, and she will see a military camp. Basically, everything is going weirdly. The camp is well protected. There's 60 people, Garu or kin, that she can't understand who's who. There seems to be a lot of living together with Garu. She will see people are being in helmet form. They're like being educated, and our scene will begin with Cammy sitting on a sit in front of a desk, and a guy enters. He has a bald head. He is, like in the photo, a little bit fat, but he enters and sits in front of Cammy. And looks at her expectantly.
She sits there, and as he enters, her fingers are kind of tapping along the arms of the chair. And once he takes his seat, she will nod her head, and then she will say, "Cammy Haveru, dated night owl."
Not anymore. Just don't worry. I'm Bill Schittner, Galliard, agent of the Glasswalkers, and you don't need to bow. It's completely okay.
All right, then.
So, Kenny, let me tell you what we do here before we start our conversation, so you get a bigger picture of what we do. Couple months ago, when I say couple, it's probably 8, there were people who were trying to attack to this forest. Pentex, no, it doesn't say Pentex, Worms subsidiaries. They tried to find oil here, so we were sent here to protect here and set a camp in America. Blah blah blah. We basically protect this place.
I'm guessing if you've been here 8 months, you've had some success at least.
Yeah. The Greenies did help us in the first attacks. They take out the guy named Patrick Mason who wanted to sell this place. There was a guy named Felix. He was a good guy. He did a lot of shit for the set. Even the Bornars called him brother.
I keep hearing the name. I understand he was the Fears as well.
He was a Tears, yeah. We Glasswalkers cares about Tears and their frontline fighters. Weirdly, he had a lot of Fianna friends. Yeah, Guy named Ethan Lynch is in the Sept. People calls him overconfident Ragabash, but basically, Felix made a lot of friends in Glasswalkers in a lot of places, so that kind of helped him. He was the connection inside with the Greenies and us. When we needed help, we told Felix, and they came to help us because I can tell you the worm does not let go of this forest.
Well, I'm not anywhere close to being on the level of my predecessor at all. But I have a good foundation, and I'm looking to expand it and build on it. And I can't do that alone. I am the sole Glasswalker in the Sept of the Green right now.
Okay. He is like looking at Cammy and says, okay. People giving you a hard time?
No. Oddly enough, I seem to get along with people pretty well. No one's had cause to get riled up at me, but I also don't give them any reason to.
So I don't know what you realize about the City Green, but it's a volatile place. When I say volatile, is people just there's people from every other tribe that comes here and doesn't like the Bornars and they try to change it, blah blah blah. So you're gonna see a lot of tribal bullshit there, even if they say they want. The Bornar says you don't want any tribe problems. So people might give you shit because you're a glasswalker.
That sounds like a them problem and less of a me problem.
That's true, but the Sept is the hierarchy of the Sept is mostly Bonars and Child Gaia. We had one guy. His name was Hacksu Toast Machine, and he was really good at like keeping the whale and all that jazz. But he got killed. Same with Felix. So while the Sports Sept, basically I Sports Sept, with the foundation that I stole from the Worm corporations, it's just there is a tension. They don't like the way I do shit, and I don't like the way that they do their shit. So, just so you know, you'll receive some tension.
Well, right now, I fly under the radar pretty well. People see me as meek and soft-spoken. I'd like to keep it that way.
It's a good place to be. You're there. The Fiona and I had a problem. When I say Fiona, it's Aiden. There were some kin who died in a battle, and in here, we don't share the names of the kin with the outsiders. Don't. There are reasons why I usually tell outsiders that my kin doesn't have names. They're my kin. It's not because I kind of a dick, because nobody needs to know our business. So they might came to you with that, he treats kin bad bullshit.
From what I see right here, looks like you're running what looks to be a very well-oiled machine. And that doesn't come without morale.
I'm a galliard. I try to keep the focus of my soldiers as best as I can. The do not split. The kin are welcomed here if they want to fight, if they want to survive. He underlines survive.
Well, given our reputation and how the majority of our tribe deal with our kinfolk, I'm sure that you're a welcome breath of fresh air for most of them.
So, I will reach to you if I need anything. I basically am telling you that you will be the middle point between me and Sept. Is that a problem for you?
Quite the contrary, it's one of the reasons I came up here.
Okay. Another thing, I need to ask you what kind of shit you do. Like, what do you do in the city as a job?
Right now, somewhat unemployed.
Okay. The Verm Corporation was the Utulis. I'm sure that you heard about them.
Mm-hmm.
The Sept keeps their Gyro well profile. I know that you do not drink from King breweries, do not fuck with land run oil, and the Utulis is no go. There's an Utuli subsidiary called Utuli First Class. Felix and the rest of the Sept actually took out the individual who was the CEO of the Utuli. So we Glasswalkers came in and stole Utuli First Class from the Utuli itself. We bought we signed stuff. We kicked most of the leading team, and now we have a green first class food as best as we can provide. I am the head CEO because there's not a lot of things to do. I let kinfolk do their shit. And I need someone to be in the city and provide, things they can.
Cammy just gets a grin on her face. It's not a huge one, but it's definitely a grin. And she'll look across the desk and she'll lean forward slightly as she pulls out her cigarette case. She'll open it up, takes one out, puts it in between her lips, and offers one to him.
He raises his hand. I do not partake that.
You don't mind if I do you?
Please, go ahead. But don't throw the cigarette down to the force.
I got you. And she'll light it, and then she'll set the case down and lean back. My pack is starting to form up. I've got a Get on the line and a Cub who I'm grooming. She's a Theurge like me. I'm hoping I can get her to join Cockroach, but at the same time, having a Theurge who's more aspected to the wild wouldn't be a bad idea. I might be able to push her towards the Furies. In any event, we are planning to follow Cockroach.
He nods.
I want to own New York City. I have the expertise to do it. I have the foundation to build up to do it. The only thing I'm lacking is funding.
I like your attitude, but I will tell you this. There are many things in New York that will be problematic for you. Leeches, other entities, the worm corporations. My recommendation is for you to start small.
I plan to.
Okay. What do you need?
But
you don't need to talk and how you're good at things. Just tell me, what do you need?
I need to be able to collect, store, decode, encrypt, and process massive amounts of data. The strategy I have is twofold. One is to literally data mine everything I can out of the city's infrastructure. I want to be able to, at will, go in under the radar and see anything and everything that goes on in the city. I want to be able to know where the cops are. I want to know where our enemies are going to strike next, what their most valuable targets are. I also want to essentially endear myself to the net spiders and some of the other entities of the city. But I need data servers. I need high-end computers. And that equipment doesn't come cheap at all.
It does. It doesn't. I might have a guy for you who can bot these things to you and do not even feel the weight of the money. I can bot these things to you, but I will heavily feel those things, feel the burden. Feeding this place doesn't come cheap. But I know a guy who actually can bot these things to you very easily.
I feel like there's a catch.
He is not a glass walker.
What tribe is he?
He's a shuttle lord. His name is Mike. Have you heard the mighty Kinfolk Council?
Yes.
He is the leader of the Kinfolk Council. A Shuttle Lord Kin, who is a brother of a Shuttle Lord in the Tree Cairn, this guy named, I think his name was Smells the Fear, Afrophilodox, but again, you don't need to deal with him. You only need to deal with his brother, who's a kin. He's married, he has a wife. And again, he is a type of guy who deals in underworld. Me and his brother has a dealing. We actually supported each other when this Kinfolk Council was going on. There's a Glasswalker Kinfolk called Lena. Lena is, a lawyer. These people can provide you this money easily, very easily. But I mean, you got to pay them something in return. You got to work with them.
I'm working with everyone in this region. I know nothing comes for nothing and nothing comes cheap.
Mike and Lena was raised by Hexter Toast Machine. The hacks kind of put them in charge of many things. So the city needs a guy who, when they need a mafia guy, they go to Mike. When they need a lawyer, they go to Lena. Now these people are left. What was the name? They are left without protection and guidance. I am sure they miss someone who can go under lines and hack things, and who may have a pack who will destroy their enemies. The more you raise Lena and the more you raise Mike, the more you will feel better as well. But Lena is not owned by anybody. He says he makes it code owned. Mike is owned by his brother, so there's no controlling Mike. There's only making deals with him. Lena is easy.
How much on your word can you get them to put up front?
I can get you. I can get you to a dinner with Mike and tell Lena to, to do what you say. At the same time, I can make Mike's brother to recommend to work with you. Again, it's up to what you offer him, what you do for him. Because the sept offered a lot of power to the kinfolk. Now these kinfolk know what they have. I look at what they have and feel like they're the shit. Would you be how do I say this? Happy or unhappy? Would you be okay with like letting these power go if you were Mike?
Depends on what I was getting in return.
That's also true. But one thing that I will tell you is that the people are not happy with Mike. I hear there's another lady who wants to be the head of the Kinfolk Council. For our well-being with the Shadow Lords, I want you to keep Mike in charge. He represents tradition and open-mindedness in the Kinfolk Council. He protects the kin more than a lot of people think he doesn't. So, you have your answer.
She sits and she thinks. I have no qualms working with them. I just needed to get it set up as soon as possible.
If you have money, I can give you skewer locations, but not skewer in. He knows the city. As you can see, I operate outside.
Tell you what. Tell him that a friend of yours, Night Owl, wants him to put forward a setup, and she'll pull out the specifications of what she needs.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him, in return, my first task using this setup will to be take out a target of his choosing.
Hmm.
Show him that his investment that he makes will pay dividends immediately.
Hmm.
And I will make sure that everybody that works gets their fair share of the keep. I don't need glory and prestige like many of the other are in that set.
Who needs that when you have a lot of shit in your under your belt, or when you get shit done? I'll talk to Mike personally. I'm actually invited to a dinner with his brother.
As far as Lena goes, tell her to stop by sometime. She'll write down her address and hand it over to him.
He will take it. A nod.
I'm also willing to do you a favor if you can get me something in return.
What do you want?
I want a recommendation to our totem, our tribal totem. Give me a target. Whether it's money, data, leverage, I'll get it for you.
Okay. I will return you in a couple days.
If everything goes well,
Everybody wins.
Exactly. What do you know about the Get?
He kind of thinks. I will answer your question, but I want you to answer me something first, which is why you asked this question. This is like he is being social. He is not being like manipulative. He is like he smiles when he says that.
I Get put out a feeler to start up a pack. All the other packs were already established. I didn't want to work under someone else's thumb or someone else's shadow.
Okay.
And I didn't want to have to conform to any standards. I wanted to set the standards. So,
go on. Sorry, I thought you were done.
So I decided to work with him. Told him that I would pack up. He wanted to follow a totem of war. Is Cockroach a totem of war? She says, and she smirks.
It is.
He wants to be alpha, and I have no problem with that title for him. But he remains blissfully unaware of who's going to run this pack. And I am perfectly fine with him thinking he's in charge. But I do need pointers on how to best guide them, because he's already put his ass out there and made a fool of himself.
It is well known that we don't like Fianna.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know what we don't like about Fianna?
I'm guessing either they're too beholden to tradition, or they're too arrogant for their own good.
No discipline. Short tempers for, like get their minds as soccer hooligans. No modernization. When you look at the other Ferris, you don't see none of those things. They're traditionalists, yes, but yeah, most people think that we want to deliver the same thing about the Fianna, but they're wrong. They're bloody, claw-first warriors. They come from a civilization that has mastered a lot of things. They're violent and very focused. They respect those who has power, and those who doesn't respect the power usually doesn't rise and become well respected and get a fairness. But I'm no fan about their lack of tactic, but actually there's a lot of similarity between our tribes and them. You don't doubt the get of fairness, and there's an issue about fighting and winning the fight. Well, no, you don't doubt to get a fairness, and there's an issue about the worm and fighting with the worm. And sadly, you don't doubt them in social situations as well. They act like they're dumb, nothing but warriors. But let me tell you, this is a tactic they use. They are not dumb. Most of them who says you don't just deal with politics is actually basically trying to make you think that they're bad at politics. I don't know who are you talking about.
He's young. Recently made a clear.
He nods.
But he's...
If you want to lead from behind, but you need to have a control of people. Like you said, if you want to lead from behind, you need to control that guy and make sure he doesn't make you look like bad. Because if he looks bad, you will look bad as well. You're his packmate.
She'll nod. You think maybe appealing to his ego and to his pride?
If he is like, let's just say, if he can't see in front of himself, then why you're being in a pack with him? If he can see in front of him and try to improve, then that's good for you.
I'll see what I can do.
He smiles.
If not, I guess it's back to the drawing board, but at least I know the feared cub is shaping up nicely.
The Black Furies are one of the 3 tribes who actually give a damn about humanity. So yeah, that's the thing.
She's soft, this cub. She's having trouble adjusting to life as a Garu.
I have heard there's a lupus grandfather. He was very
There is.
violent. He didn't shape her yet.
I think he's
Or
in the process. She's only a few weeks into being a Garu.
No. She, didn't show why we fight.
She's been in a couple of fights already. She wasn't ready for the level of violence, I think, and how easy it is for us to bite the dust. I think she was going through that phase where you see what we're capable of, and you think that we're almost invincible.
He takes a deep breath. Doesn't say anything. I think you know what to do.
She smirks and she nods. Can you let Lena know that I'd like her to be there when I get back to my place?
Completely.
Should be back in about 2 hours.
You want someone else with Lena? He kind of smirks when he says that.
Depends on what you mean by that.
I mean, you said it like, I want to see Lena, and I was like, okay. Be at my place. That can mean a lot of things. I don't think Lena's like that, but I don't know what she will think when she sees you.
Cammy takes a minute, and she takes the last puff out of the cigarette, and then she'll look across. And she doesn't have like an angry face. It's just more of a very matter-of-fact face. I don't get down one way or the other. I don't like to be touched. I don't like touching other people.
Oh. He nods, doesn't say anything. As he gets up and says, I will send you my response soon, don't worry.
She nods and she'll stand up as well.
He will start calling Lena to be there when you at home.
And Cammy will make her way back to her place.
Do you want to talk with Lena right now?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Okay. All your life you have seen Glasswalker Kin. All your life you have seen them being used in different ways. You see a one of those glasswalker kids who is being, groomed to be lawyers for one way or another stuff. But she was waiting with this smile in front of your house for like 15 minutes.
Cammy, as she parks the motorcycle, she'll step off of it and she'll lock it up, like lock the helmet in the little thing on the back. She'll look at Lena as she approaches. Lena, I take it?
She nods. She extends a hand.
She looks at the hand and she kind of waves her hand.
She immediately pulls her hand back. She immediately pulls it back.
I don't do contact. It's not a you thing, it's a me thing.
She nods. So, how can I help you?
Well, for one, you mind if we go in and out of the cold and off the street?
Completely. You see, responses are really firm, immediate.
And Kimmy will take her up to her loft, and she goes and makes tea and brings back Lena a mug, and she sits down. So, I met the agent up north.
She nods.
Told me a bit about you. Told me that you have involvement with the Kinfolk Council.
She nods. Sorry if there's a lot of voices, I apologize. But yeah, continue.
It's New York. It's meant to be loud.
I am involved with the Kinfolk Council as I represent the glassworkers.
So you have a certain degree of sway out there, and I guess you're trying to support Mike.
Mike represents firm leadership. We can't let what happened with Elizabeth happen again. Elizabeth was a skin dancer who was the head of the Kinfolk Council.
Ugh.
Yes.
Hmm.
I supported Mike from day one. Because the Glasswalkers and Shadowlords were having a alliance.
Which means my lot is thrown in behind Mike as well. I need him for what I want to do. And I'm sure that he could use a Glasswalker Theurge providing him support.
He would really be happy with that, to be honest. I know that he was having a lot of problems on front of the Mafia recently. The Kinfolk Council, there were some Black Spiral kin who were being Mafia. I think it has been taken care of, but there's the remainings of those individuals who are still fighting. The bribing cops and other stuff is becoming problematic.
We need to cut off their funding then.
That is one way to deal with it, but Mike doesn't work that way. He usually he doesn't like, let's just say, ending lives for no reason.
Right. Well,
I'm happy that he's that way, to be honest.
Well, it just so happens that I happen to specialize in ways of warfare that don't require anybody to pull a trigger or use a knife.
He nods. She nods. So what do you want me to tell Mike?
Tell him that he's got a new ally. Tell him that if he gives me names, if he gives me organizations, I can pick them apart bit by bit until they have no choice but to look for greener pastures. And at the very
She nods.
least, if they won't leave quietly, and it comes down to it, I can make them vulnerable enough that the heavy hitters of the Sept can deal with it.
Okay.
He's already got a list of the things that I need to start setting up a network for the benefit of all of us. But I know he's going to want results before he completely commits to it. But anything that he's willing to give up front, let him know that I would be grateful for.
Okay. Me and his wife is pretty close.
What do you need?
To be honest, I'm really happy right now. Um,
I
lost someone recently. I'm developing. Pardon me. I'm taking care of myself right now. She says this robotically, like a robot. You realize that she is a good liar, and she likes to put on a face. I've shown myself weak to a lot of people recently already.
She'll nod. You need an ally? Because I do.
She smiles and nods.
You have the ability to do things I can't. I don't exactly fit into the world that you do. And even though I'm not as combustible as a Galliard or an Arun, there's enough there that people are wary of me. Would you be willing to forge a partnership under the guise of kinfolk to Agaru? And understand that I don't operate under the lording over anyone that's my kin. It's 50-50, in or out.
She nods.
Share and share alike.
Lena smiles, nods. There's a smile on her face that is like says a lot, but she doesn't say anything.
And Cammy takes a breath,
Mm-hmm.
and she just offers out her hand.
She shakes it.
Cammy looks uncomfortable but satisfied.
We don't need to shake hands. It's completely okay. You don't need to act fake near me.
It's good to know. And when you feel that you're ready to let your walls down, you can do the same. Anything that's said in here is between you and me only.
She nods. I promised him a dinner to a friend. So mind if I leave and go near her?
She just kind of smirks and nods. Do what you gotta do.
Would you like to join us?
Is it a formal thing? And she'll kind of like gesture up and down to what Lena's wearing.
No. No, it is basically Jacob plays live in me about the gossip about things that's going to happen.
Jacob?
Jacob Clay's wife. Philippa the Tanzaril, Silver Fankin.
Interesting.
She is among the supporters of the monk.
Well, just do me a favor and have her let Jacob know that I'll be joining you all for dinner. I want to keep up appearances that...
Don't worry. She nods.
Should I bring anything?
No. It's completely okay. We will just eat. This is after Philippa's art lesson, and like she doesn't even like say like change. Basically, like they will meet in a little bit fancy sandwich place, and they will eat sandwiches that are like light sandwiches. And Philippa and herself and you will basically talk about the things at the Sept and the Simon's new girlfriend, the Lena's sister who's being interested in Desmond after Scars, new Cubs, and stuff like that. The place is owned by a Glasswalker king.
Cool. Cammy will pass off her card to the owner of the shop.
Okay. He will take it. Would you like to end the scene there?
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, right, I have the button. Thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching.